A House panel clearing the $700 billion rescue plan for a final vote on Friday. Joining us now is a member of the House of Representatives who voted against the legislation on Monday, Congressman Jack Kingston of Georgia. He comes to us from Capitol Hill this morning. Good morning.
Morning, Carol.
You voted against it on Monday. What are you going to do today?
Well, I'm still planning to vote no. I'm going to take a look at it one more time. This is very important. We're all on shaky grounds here. There's not many people who are saying heck yes or heck no. There's a lot of people, though, who have doubts either way. And, you know, we're very concerned about the economy, but I don't think that this package in its current form is going to turn the economy around. I think it will continue a lot of the bad habits of government and the private sector as endorsed by government.
Is there anything that could be in this package that you think would turn the economy around, that would make it worth voting for?
Well, I think that increasing the FDIC limit from 100 to 250,000, I think that's good. I think letting community banks treat losses from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac preferred stock as ordinary income instead of capital losses, I think that would be, those are two very good steps. But there's some other things that aren't in there. The mark-to-market issue on accounting, even though the SEC has moved in the right direction on that, they're not quite there. I wish they would have done that 10 days ago or 6 months ago.
Right.
Really. We're not talking net worth certificates, which is something that Bill Isaacs, the former FDIC chairman, had pushed. There's a lot of more market-oriented solutions that are out there, and you know, including one that I've talked to John Addison of BB&T about, and that would be allowing homeowners to have a 10% tax credit for purchasing some of this distressed property. And again, that would address the issue, put liquidity in the market, and increase the activity.
Why aren't we doing more on that level, if you will?
It's very disappointing to me, and I cannot tell you the answer to that. Mr. Paulson is kind of a Wall Street guy as opposed to being a community banker guy. His focus is, I guess, big money and the intertwined activities of the international market. And I understand that, but if you look at the other bailouts this year, none of them have stopped the bleeding, which is what he had been predicting.
I guess what kind of throws me off is why can't we do something like that that, as you mentioned, addresses the problem, those struggling homeowners, when we can put in things like tax breaks for wool research, for auto racing tracks. You know, some folks are saying that this is a better bill, but how does that help the situation?
Well, I don't think that it does. I think all it does is simply helps put a couple of members in the yes column that were no, because it does something to their own provincial interests. But I don't think that that's going to right the ship at all, and that's what we need to do at this point.
All right. Are you concerned, though, that the crisis on Wall Street is spreading to Main Street? And I bring that up because so much money has been lost to investors, to taxpayers, to the regular guy sitting at home watching this interview. I mean, it is impacting them. So having said that, do we need to, though, do something that kind of stems that?
Well, I think that there could be a federal role here. Unfortunately, Mr. Paulson said, I've got the plan, I can solve everything, and came out there with the $700 billion. I think was an overpromise initially, just the way he did it. But I do think that Washington could do some things, and one of the things is to quit asking banks to have the Community Reinvestment Act, which makes them make loans which are very risky and push people into houses who can't afford the payments. That's one of the big problems that started this whole mess. It took years for us to get in here, and that is not addressed in this bill.
But Congressman, you know, a lot of investors are worried at this point. We just need something to shore up confidence, if you will, and many believe that passage of this package will do that, whether or not it turns out to be the right thing. Do you think we don't have any choice at this point but to put it through because of that lack of investor confidence at this point?
I think that the way this has been framed to members of Congress is, this is horrible, but we have no choice. Well, that's not exactly the truth. We're a body of 435 lawmakers who can do whatever we want, so to speak, if we have the votes. And I think looking at some of the market-oriented alternatives, which I discussed a minute ago, I think that would be a much better approach. And if this bill goes down, we can go back to the drawing board on that. The problem is that Mr. Paulson, the way this thing has presented, created a panic situation and kind of a fire sale, if you will. And that mentality, we've got to get over it, because market corrections have come and gone, and this is going to be another one.
Hey, 5 seconds. Do you think it's going to get passed, though, ultimately? And I've got to ask you to be quick here.
Well, the Speaker says she's not going to bring it to the floor unless she has the votes, and she is bringing it to the floor, so I think it will pass. All
right. Going to leave it on that note. Thanks so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Carol.
Congressman Kingston joining us. We're back in 2, everyone.